Hey everyone, welcome back to the campaign. So our last episode ended with Artemis doing this backstab on the witch. You know, they're all in the middle of the battle and he sort of vanishes from sight for a few seconds and appears behind her. And then the next thing you know, everybody just sees this blade like shoot out the front of her chest, blood squirts all over and she drops to the ground. It was much easier than they thought it was gonna be. Now they have to head back to Bog Reach. The one thing I'm not gonna do, guys, is go back through the dungeon and sort of backtrack, and maybe there's wandering monsters and all that stuff. For me, this is mainly just about the story, and for most of the viewers that watch this, it's about the story as well. And we wanna keep the adventures fun and fast-paced and continuing forward. So we made it back out of the mountainous cave, and we are gonna start heading east toward Bog Reach. Here's our current location, and we have to head east. I divvied up our treasure from last game. Everybody got 25 gold, and we split up these items. It's not really important who has them, but I have those 2 XP that I've got to spend, and Wolfgar is gonna get 1, and Artemis is gonna get 1. If they can both level up, then everybody will be level 2. Wolfgar needs anything but 1 to level up. Yes. Perfect. Artemis goes up to 6 hit points and Wolfgar goes up to 9. Once we come out of the cave and maybe travel halfway through this hex toward Bog Reach, it's gonna be dark time. And so we're gonna set up camp. The first thing that I'm gonna do with Drist is he has the foraging trait to where he can automatically collect foods and healing herbs in order to restore D6 hit points that I can distribute amongst everybody. So we're gonna do that. Let's see what he gets. All right, so I got 3 hit points to throw out to whoever I want. Drist is at 6, so he's okay. Wolfgar is at full. Brunor is at 6, so he's all right. And then we're gonna give these 3 points to Artemis so he can heal up. Once Drist is back from collecting all these various herbs, he gives them over to Artemis, and by that time they have a fire built. And then everybody is gonna eat dinner. So they pull out 1 ration, everybody eats it. And after tonight's rest, everybody will be at full hit points except for Drist. He'll be at 7 out of 8 because we will get 1 hit point for resting. And I will have Wolfgar on watch. So he won't get a hit point, but he's already full anyways. We're gonna have to check for a wandering monster attack throughout the night. 1 or a 2 is a wandering monster? Nothing. We have a really good rest. Also guys, I have these little things over here that I'm keeping right next to where I have to roll so I can remember some of the stuff I sometimes overlook. I only did a half-day travel through this hex, so I didn't do a hex event, but now we've crossed over into the Bog Reach hex, and I'll have to do one for there. We roll on the hex with a road event table. Remember, these are less dangerous if there's roads. Let's see what we get here. We get a 7. Wow, the party has a quiet journey. We meet no one, no events. That's okay. This is the first time really kind of exploring Bog Reach for me as the player. The characters have met up here. Maybe they've never been to this town before. It is a town, so there is a % chance of each of these services to be there. I'm not gonna record all this, but we will see what's in Bog Reach. Okay, so I had some great rolls for this town. We've got a tavern, market, alchemist, stables. There's a ranger, a trainer. For some specialized healers, we have druid, cleric, confessor. And then we have an enchanter. The only thing that didn't make the list really was magic emporium and arcanist. So it's a pretty good sized town. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So before I do anything here, we have to roll for a settlement event in the town. You can see right there, there's a 50% chance that something happens as we come on into town. If I get under 50 here, something happens. We get 50. It's 50 or under, so yeah, something happens. I gotta roll a d20 and see what happens. 1. Oh man, this can't be good. As we get back to the town, it's under attack. It says by Greenskin, so I gotta figure out which one it is. Goblins is one, goblinoids, hobgoblins, and orcs. So let's roll the d4. We get a 3, hobgoblins. So we have to fight 1d4 plus 4 of these, and then there's a chance that there's a boss afterwards. So the entire town is getting raided by these hobgoblins. And I just looked in the book and they're highest class level +3, so they're kind of tough. This might be interesting. Let's see how many of them, 1d4 plus 4. All right, so we only got 5 of them, so that's good. 5, so let's see who gets 2. That's gonna be Wolfgar. Here's our little setup. We have some hobgoblins here and some old rusted out armor. Rushing into town, maybe raiding or looting. We don't know exactly what they're doing, but there's a big one running around town here somewhere. Maybe if we can fight these guys off, they will scatter. Also guys, one more thing. Typically, again, you know, when you fight minions, you can run through a lot of them. These ones are tough for minions, so I don't think, you know, unless there's a lot of explosions, that we're gonna be running through too much of them, like one guy killing everybody. But I think to keep it more like D&D, we're just gonna leave the battle the way that it is. You know, if Drist wipes out this guy, he wipes out this guy. He doesn't go on to the next one. So yeah, their highest class level +3, so that's level 5. Drist is coming in with Icing Death and Twinkle, 2 attacks. First one, needs a 5, gets the first one. Misses the second one. Drist slices the first one right across the throat and it collapses to the ground. In Wolfgar's case back here, if he does enough damage, he could kill both of them. He needs a 5 or a 6, but he gets +2 to his roll. So he gets a 5, that's gonna be a hit. He's gonna take out one of them. Okay, so one thing I had to switch real quick is Drist does get +1 to both of his attacks now, because when he attacks with 2 weapons, he adds half of his level. He's level 2, so he gets +1 to both attacks. Wolfgar is now at +3. That's +2 for his level, and then his hammer. Same with Brunor. Brunor has, he gets to add his level 2 attack, melee attacks, and Artemis has +2. He gets to add his level. Brunor in the back, he's gonna hack with his hand axe. He needs a 5, but he has +2. No, automatic miss. Artemis is gonna use Sharon's Claw. Tries to gut the hobgoblin. He needs a 5 or a 6, he has +2. Yes, he's gonna get it and kill that hobgoblin. Puts the sword right through its belly, comes out its back. Here's the situation, there's 2 left. They've gotta make a morale check. 4+, they keep fighting. No, they take off running. So as their comrades are getting killed, the last 2 take off. Now there's a 10% chance that we find the boss. I hope we do. 37, nope. So maybe the morale of the town guard kicks up a couple notches once they see us coming in and start taking these hobgoblins down. After this is over, we meet up with who we recognize to be Parkalon. That's the guy that we lifted his curse. And he's just like super grateful to us. Yet we know his little secret and there's gonna be some awkward conversations. But we have to start off, he's gonna reward us for helping him with the greenskins. Okay, I get to bust out the old school D100 and we get 2 D100 gold for doing this. That is amazing. What do we got? Oh boy, we got a 14 with the first one. And we got a 49 with the second one. So we get a total of 63 gold. That's 15 gold for everybody. Currently, Artemis has 49. Brunor 47. Wolfgar 43. Drist 45 gold. Nice. Finish reading this table. We also get a random potion. If we would have chose not to help the settlement once we got here and seen it was under attack, we would have all lost 1 level. Dang. Let's see what potion we get from the alchemist. We get a 5. Potion of Brutal Fighter. If I drink it during combat, it costs an action to drink it, but you get to add your tier to the melee attack rolls for the rest of the encounter. Dwarves and barbarians add 1 plus their tier. Since pretty much everybody's shown their worth in battle, we're gonna roll for this. So we get a 2, and that's gonna be Wolfgar to get it. Nice. We gotta roll to see if we get robbed at any point while we're in the town. This is a seedy town. 10. We get a 91, we're good. So we can visit the tavern when we're ready, but it's morning time, so we don't need to do that. We just camped. Perform house guild actions. We haven't built a guild yet. That's something that we're gonna do, but it's only available in the cities anyway. So, and this is a town. Visit the market. We can sell some stuff if we want. I think we're gonna sell off some of our gems. Brunor sold a gem he had worth 30. That gives him up to 77 gold. Chris also had a gem worth 30 gold, so he's up to 75. Everyone's gonna buy 5 rations and 1 bandage for 10 gold. And just to make sure that I'm playing it right, Brunor is gonna spend 2 gold on a lantern hook for his shield. Lets you hang your lantern on the shield, free in one hand. You can use 1 action to detach the lantern from the shield. If the shield's destroyed, 3 in 6 chance that the lantern is destroyed also. I don't think I really have enough money to buy anything from the alchemist, but Drist has to go get this curse off. So I checked the monastery. You can buy a blessing spell there. And then I checked the healers here, and it's all the same. It's 100 gold either way. Drist, I don't think would ask anybody for help, but I think Wolfgar and Brunor are gonna chip in and try to help him pay for a blessing spell to get the curse off, because he's starting to look a little sickly, maybe walking a little bit slower, or just has like a smell to him, or just something is off. Driss put 50, Wolfgar put 25, that leaves him with 8. That leaves Drist with 15, and then Brunor put 25 as well. That leaves him with 40. I think Drist was just trying to deal with the problem, and these two kind of said, no, let's go see the cleric. We got to get this off you. And now Drist is feeling like 100%. He's feeling really good. Now, Artemis didn't refuse to pay. They just didn't ask him. Maybe he notices that, maybe he doesn't. You know, everybody's doing their own thing here while they're in the city, kinda. And then they're all gonna meet up and go talk to Parkalon and find out what's going on. Once we've completed all of our tasks, we finally get to talk to Parkalon. And again, he's incredibly grateful, but we do kind of know the situation. And I think maybe Drist or Artemis lets him know that we know. And he tells us that whoever was trying to frame them was using a rare poison made from the saliva of a hydra. And there's very few people that know how to harvest that. One of those people is a man by the name of Sesame or One Eye. And he's a black market alchemist. The last that Parkalon knew of his location was somewhat of an outlaw town called Harrogate. And so we're gonna roll to see how far Harrogate is from this town. So we're gonna roll and see how many days travel it's gonna be, or how many hexes. 3, not too bad. I think once we have this information, we aren't gonna hang out here for too much longer. I think we're gonna hit the road. All right, let's see which direction out of this hex we leave. All right, it's gonna be southwest. Okay, this is the worst hex drawing ever. So currently we're just gonna go south, but I'm gonna take some of these sheets and print actual hex onto here. So that'll fix the situation, and I'll remake it all. But right now we're just gonna go to right here. Jeez, that's bad. We're gonna see what kind of terrain we have. 6. So remember, I'm eliminating some of these. So we're just gonna start right here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's more swampland. So let's see if there's a road on this hex. We get a 4, there is no road. 30% chance that a river's in here. We got a 2, there is a river. Okay, there's not one for sure. I've got to roll just like the roads, but replace the word road with river, so there's a chance that there isn't one. On a roll of a 1, a river starts. There is no river. So we got some more swampland that we're gonna be traveling through. We got a roll on the roadless chart. We got a 9. Okay, if it's a desert or glacier, there's nothing for a 9. Otherwise, there's a village here. Little swamp village. We aren't gonna interact with the village. We just came from town, so we're just gonna see what event happens here. Okay, remember, the roadless hex are the dangerous ones. We got 7. We've encountered a weird monster here. I've collected several weird monsters from all the supplements, and I put them into a list right here, and we're gonna roll for that. Get a 9. On a 1 to 3, we're surprised. We're not. As we make our way through the swamp, we come upon a strange sight. There's a goblin that is squatted down in the roots of what looks to be an old rotted out tree stump. His yellow eyes sort of dart around, and it seems like he's seeing things that we're not. He looks almost crazy, like he's looking around all over the place. A purplish cloud or some sort of magic is almost like an aura around him. You can see his clothes are all ripped out, and instead of having the typical green skin, he has like a grayish look to him. Something's definitely wrong with this guy. We're gonna find out what's going on. As soon as he sees us, he stands up, and you can see all the vines and muck of the swamp just covering his gray, oily skin, and lets out a cackling sound that is all gurgly, and he like pukes up some swamp water. The purplish magic that is sort of floating around him as his aura makes him levitate up off of the ground. His body starts to convulse and contort in a really weird way, kind of freaking us out a little bit. Suddenly he drops to the ground, and the purple essence that's holding him up is almost pulled into his chest, almost like it possesses him. Wolfgar immediately backs out of the space of the goblin. I mean, he does not like magic. He's super spooked like a dog. And I think Drist slowly backs away, kind of widening his arms to push back Artemis and Brunor. I think we're gonna just see what this guy does. We're gonna let his reaction play out, because you don't have to fight everything. This guy might give us some kind of cool quest. So on a 1, 2, 3, he'll give us a quest. On a 4 or 5, he'll fight. And then on a 6, he'll fight to the death. All right, we got a quest. I'm gonna use the quests from this book. There's a side quest thing, and then there's like a major quest thing, the next couple pages. So 50 and under is a side quest. Anything over that is a bigger quest. All right, it's a bigger quest. Roll D20, it's a 9. So this is pretty cool. He wants us to go to a nearby hex, and there is a cult that is capturing and sacrificing goblins. It's a cult of humans, and they do these weird rituals with them. And so he wants me to go there and rescue any goblins that are left. So there's D3 goblins still alive left there. We can get 50 gold for each one. You get to roll on a chart, and if you complete the quest, you get an epic reward. Sounds pretty awesome. So the goblin is telling us that he knows where there is a piece of magical treasure that is worth a lot of gold pieces, and he's willing to show us where it's at if we can rescue some of his comrades. I mean, between the money we'll make, if there's anybody alive, which there is, but the group doesn't know that, there's up to 3 of them. And then the epic treasure piece, I think the group would probably go for this deal.